actually, technically, there was no meeting on August 10th. If you don't have a quorum, you can't have a meeting. So you can't excuse anybody because there was no meeting. So technically, there's no meeting considered on that day.
That's correct. And when I was absent, there was no meeting that day either.
That's true. So there's no meeting,
So there's no meeting, there's no absence.
There's no absence. Okay, then, we voted that it would be 3-2 as far as excusing 3, 4, 5, and 6, eliminating it from the call to order. Can we vote on it?
No, we didn't vote, I didn't think we voted, I'm sorry.
You didn't vote yet, no.
Okay, all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. Oh, let's move on, please. Citizens' comments.
You haven't,
We
no.
approved the agenda.
There were some additions that we're still discussing whether adding that to the agenda or not.
All right, on the unfinished business, we shall, is there a motion that we should remove the citizens from 8-1 workshop?
I make a motion that we should remove that from unfinished business since it was already brought up once before, and it does not need to be rehashed.
I'll
Is it-
second.
Okay, there's a second discussion, Mr. Commissioner Fagan.
The main reason why it'd be there, and I can see really why Mrs. Adler, Commissioner Adler chooses not to address it, is she lied to the public, because she clearly said she was gonna have the public come up here to talk, then she abruptly refused that and adjourned the meeting, unless she was at another meeting.
Come
What? Come on, what? It happened. Are you gonna hide it? You wanna sweep it
What do
under
you
the
wanna
rug
do?
also?
on. Maybe we should, if you're gonna start yelling like this.
No, I'm not yelling. I'm making a point that you seem to ignore. You weren't here. You didn't see two people here have their rights abused.
This motion.
And that's why it has to be discussed.
Commissioner Dumont.
Thank you. I disagree that it should be removed. We sit in this seat to represent the people, regardless of what they think, regardless if they like us or not. We're supposed to represent the people. If you have this removed, whether you have it removed or not, or the rest of this board decides to have it removed, people are gonna talk about it anyway, and they have a right.
Okay.
She overstepped her bounds and her authority as a commissioner here in doing what she did, and that's not right. She owes this board, as well as the citizens, as well as the employees here, an apology. And she should give that apology, especially to Mr. Cummins and to Mr. Sullivan.
We have a motion on the floor.
Wait, I just have
Oh,
one
wait a
thing to
minute,
say.
Ms. Branson.
I'm sorry.
Commissioner.
Then I hope that those same people stand up in front of Commissioner Atkins at the next meeting and demand the exact same thing from Commissioner Atkins, because he had 3 deputies yesterday, 3 extra deputies yesterday, to remove Mr. Langone. So the standard is the same. She did the same thing Commissioner Atkins did yesterday. Except Commissioner Atkins was kind enough, in his good judgment, or his judgment, whatever you want to call it, to allow him to stay if he promised not to say anything else. It continued here.
It
And
did not
that's-
continue.
Oh, don't interrupt me. If I can't interrupt you, you can't interrupt me.
Oh, excuse me.
So let's go ahead and have a same standard. If you're gonna go here, 3 deputies removed, that tried to remove Mr. Langone, but he promised not to say anything. They were warned, it went on. But we've discussed this and hashed this out at the meeting that we tried to pass the interlocal agreement. So I don't see the point in continuing to rehash this issue. And I'm sorry that y'all disagree, but we have already had this issue out. They're sitting in the room as we speak.
I guess it will be Commissioner Fagan.
Okay, let's bring into perspective here. It wasn't the same yesterday. It wasn't the same. There was no trespass order issued. There was no threat of arrest made, which is simply an adjournment of the meeting and it's taken care of. So it wasn't the same thing. Nor was it intended to be the same thing. I think in our case, it was a personal attack on Mr. Clemens. It was a personal attack. They did nothing here. Mr. Langone did speak out. These people did nothing here. The evidence shows they did nothing. So it was just a personal attack by this commissioner against two citizens. This is the issue. This is the difference. And I'll tell you what, as long as I'm a public official, I will stand for the rights of the citizens. When they do nothing, nothing should be done. Just as when the sheriff arrived, you weren't here. When the sheriff arrived, I made a point to go talk to him. Commissioner Adler was with me. The first words out of his mouth was, "There'll be no arrest today." First thing Lieutenant Terry said, "There'll be no arrest today." Commissioner Adler said, "Well, I spoke to Al on the phone." Okay, who was it? Al Sharpton? Alice Rodriguez? Alvin the Chipmunk? Who was Al that you spoke on the phone with? Please tell me. What, you gonna tell the chairman what to do? You tell him to shut me up?
No, you've discussed this twice.
I don't care how many times. You don't interrupt me, don't interrupt the chairman. So that's the point I'm getting at, that has to be exposed. This was a personal vendetta, and it needs to be discussed. And Mr. Chairman, I know you were absent, I'll understand that. That's more important why you allow us to be discussed today. Thank you.
You like Commissioner Fagan? Commissioner Giamatti?
Thank you. It never seems to fail that if I say something out of turn, which I generally don't, that I'm criticized and don't interrupt. But yet I sit here during this whole meeting, and you, Mr. Chairman, for your leadership qualities, Commissioner Adler here is constantly saying things under her mouth.
I
Constantly.
apologized.
There she goes again. Did you bang her out of order, sir? She didn't apologize to me.
I apologize to everybody.
Really? I like to see you say that apology to everybody.
I don't believe it's hopeless. It's like a zoo.
That's right.
Thank God it's over.
It's a disgrace.
It is a disgrace, because according to Commissioner Brosnan yesterday what happened, evidently we get the facts straight. It is different. We had these people removed, and we should not have done that. We're not in the business of removing citizens from a meeting for speaking out.
Okay, just say you take your point of view. Maybe it was a mistake, right?
It was a big mistake.
Okay, then let's bite the bullet and move on.
No, no, because
So what would you want?
we owe these people an apology. She owes these people an apology. We had these people removed for no reason.
Well, I wasn't here, so I don't know what the reason was, but whether it was good judgment, bad judgment, or otherwise, the item actually did happen. So let us move on. We're sorry to whomever it was.
No, sir. No, sir. You should not just be apologizing. She needs to apologize.
That's not up to me to say.
Point of order.
You know, go ahead.
Point of order, please. There is a motion on the floor.
That's
We've
right.
had discussion. We don't need to do the arguing part of it. There is a motion on the floor. I apologize for interrupting, which of course I did. However, I don't like being called a liar unless you have proof of it, which is not the truth. And if that's continual, I'm not going to argue.
Wish to
with
be
you.
heard.
There is a motion on the floor. I would
And I
like
wish
to
to be
vote
heard
on it.
on the stage.
I understand, Commissioner
What
Fagan, I
you-
understand. I'm gonna let you.
Okay.
All right. I would like to let you.
Please.
Okay, Commissioner Fagan.
Proof of a liar. The last meeting, she said to the public, "We're going to allow you to speak right after the vote. We're going to allow you to speak right after the vote." The vote came, she adjourned the meeting. That is a lie. That is a bold-faced lie to the public. And if we want to go on further, there are other lies that she told. And I would like to clarify that under my time. Thank you.